So on behalf of the Independence Chamber of Commerce in the City of Independence, welcome to First Friday, the first Friday in 2018. It's a tropical temperature out there compared to the last week of bitter temperatures in Independence. And I just did a quick head count. I think there's about 80 people in the room, so it's nice to have a packed house at First Friday. First Friday is an opportunity for all of us to get together on a regular basis and share good, accurate information with the community. And I encourage you to, if you know somebody who would benefit from being here, to invite them to come. I know it's early, but it allows people to be well informed and get lots of good information and then get back to work. But there are some people who, because of work schedules and other things, aren't able to get out. So encourage them to watch it on TV. But we always set up for about 100. And like I said, we have a packed house with about 80 in here. So if you look around and see somebody that you think might benefit from coming, be sure when you're out and about and visiting with people that you invite them to come to First Friday. We wouldn't be able to have First Friday. Well, we would be able to have First Friday if the city and the chamber co-sponsored it as far as being able to use this facility. But if we didn't have our business sponsors, you would just be sitting there with nothing in front of you. And because you all have hot coffee and tasty muffins and fruit, that is because we have great business sponsors every single month. And we have about 5 openings for our business sponsors for the year of 2018. So if you have a business that's interested in sponsoring, please let us know. We'll get you plugged in. With that business sponsorship, you always get an opportunity to have the microphone right up here in front of the camera and give a little shout out to the community on everything you want us to know about your business or organization. So at this time, I am pleased to present to you our business sponsor this morning, Community National Bank. So at this time, would you please welcome their president, Julie Volker.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Lisa, and it's our pleasure to sponsor the muffins and the coffee. Thank you very much, Terry. I did not have to get up and cook this morning. Terry did that for me. I got the easy job of just writing the check, so thank you. I would like to tell you a little bit about Community National Bank. The bank was established 30 years ago in Chinook, Kansas, by a group of investors, many of which actually live in this community. Right now, we serve 25 communities in southeast Kansas and Ponca City, Oklahoma. Many of you may have read in the newspaper that we also will be, this spring, adding 4 locations in southwest Missouri, so around Carthage and Nevada in that area. We offer multiple types of deposits and savings accounts, and there's some brochures on your table. A couple of those accounts offer CD-like rates and identity theft protection, which is extremely important these days. We also have mascot debit cards. So if you are a true Bulldog fan or an ICC Pirate fan, you can pay with pride and come get your debit card. And every time we issue one of the mascot cards, we give $3 to the school district or the college. So just as an example, in the past 2 years, we've given almost $900 to USD 446 and a little over $250 to the ICC Foundation. So great way to pay with pride and support your community. We've got a full trust department that works with our local attorneys and our local investment advisors. We are a preferred SBA lender, and so that makes it easier for you to do SBA loans because we can approve those in-house. We offer a variety of home loan options, including conventional, VA, FA, FHA, rural development, as well as several in-house products for those more unconventional type home loans. So come see us. We also specialize in agricultural lending. And there's a brochure on your table that talks about Midwest Ag Funding. That's a special department that we have that allows us to offer long-term fixed rates for agricultural real estate. But the real thing I really want to talk to you about this morning is the heart and soul of Community National Bank and Trust are our employees. They not only excel in customer service, but they also go in above and beyond to support our community. You will notice that I'm wearing jeans this morning. I've had several people say to me on First Friday, I didn't know bankers could wear jeans. Well, at Community National Bank, if you come in the door on Friday, you're going to see a sign that says Jeans for Joy. And our employees pay to wear their jeans every Friday, okay? And throughout the year, we do a lot of other different internal fundraising programs. But as part of this program, the money that our employees raise stays right here in our community. And I just want to give you an idea. This past year, we were able to support AWOL, Hannah's House, Four Paws, Adopt a Family, Independence Public Library, Stuff the Bus, and Community Missions for Improved Housing, just as a few. These cash donations totaled over $2,400. And that's money that came out of our employees' pockets. That doesn't include the almost $20,000 that the bank made in community donations and sponsorships. So I can't say enough about the employees that we have. We love our community, and we truly are a local bank. And I'd like to take just a minute to introduce the employees that were able to get away and come this morning. Gary Morrison. Gary's a commercial lender. Lee Beeson. This woman knows anything and everything about how to put a home loan together. I ask her questions every day, okay? We've got Angie Musgrove, Debbie Moses, and Paula Hayes. These ladies will take excellent care of you on your deposit side. Again, people will come and ask me deposit questions, and I'll say, wait a minute, let me go grab one of my gals because they know more than I do. And Janet Tucker, Janet not only is my loan admin who puts all of our loan papers together, but she also is part of our trust department and provides excellent care to our trust customers here in town. So I just really appreciate the effort that our employees do put in place. And I want to thank you, Lisa, for the opportunity to share about a company that I love that gave me an opportunity to move back to the community that I love. So thank you.
Okay, I just want to say I'm doing my part. So I've got my Bulldog card and my ICC card, and if I had enough money, I'd open up one for Pitt State, too, because they have an amazing Pitt State card as well. Those are always fun to pull out. Let's see. So before we get started, we always talk about kind of what's going on in the community and do a quick overview of the calendar. But let me talk about where you can find information in our community in case we have some new people that are going to watch us on TV or new people in the room. The Chamber has a website, and you can go to the Chamber website and see all of the flyers and flashes that are giving you information about what's happening in the community. In this room right now, over to the side, there's a flyer table. That's where we keep all of the flyers about everything that's happening in the community. So when you're finished here, you can walk by, pick up those flyers, take them back to your workplace or home, and you'll have those to refer to. If you're more of an electronic person, then access the website, look at that information online, go onto our Facebook page, Get Independence, and check out all the flyers and flashes on our Facebook page. And we also repost from other Facebook sites as well, so you're going to see a lot of information on there. We do a What's Up in the newspaper every Friday, so you'll be able to see what's up for just the current week, and that will be printed there. It will also be on the website and our Facebook page. The calendar of events also goes into the newspaper. The calendar of events is on the back of your flyer this morning. If you flip it over, there's a calendar for January and February. We were able to squeeze all of that in. If you go to recycling tomorrow, you'll be receiving one of those as well. And then we also have a lot of publicity and communication out on the radio waves. So on the stations here in Independence, on KIND, we do a taped radio calendar that plays 4 times a day, Monday through Friday, on 3 different stations. So if you're a listener on those stations, you'll be able to hear the community calendar. I also do a live interview on Friday that kind of tells people what's happening in the community, kind of the upcoming week and on the weekend. And then most recently, I started doing an interview every Tuesday on 690 AM on KGGF. So I drive to Coffeyville and visit with them for about 30 minutes on the radio starting at about 8:15. And that's a fun interview to be able to get information out. And I say all of that because I want you to know, if you have something that you want people to know about, be sure and give us a call at the Chamber, and we will add it to our list of events and publicize it in all those ways that I just mentioned so that everybody knows what's going on in the community. If we've missed any dates or if there are errors, now's the time to let us know so we can get that fixed before it goes to print any further than today. Also on your table, you're going to see a comment card, and fill those out if you have any suggestions about what's going on in the community that you would like us to discuss at First Friday. And with that, I'm going to just hit a few highlights on what's happening in the community. So basketball is going to start back up. High school will actually play tonight. They're playing Parsons, and then they will be playing Chanute next week. The college will be starting back up on the 10th. Their first game will be with Hutch. So if you're basketball fans, get those dates on your calendars. Recycling is tomorrow, so make sure you're participating in that. We have a special city commission meeting on Monday where we will be taking the oath of office for our new city commissioners. We'll be welcoming Louis Yasusi to the city commission. He's in here somewhere, I thought. Where are you? Yes? So they'll be taking care of business on Monday, and we will be thanking Fred Meier, our current mayor, for his 4 years and 8 months on the city commission as well. So that will be a nice evening in Independence at 5:30 right here in the Civic Center in the Veterans Room. The library is chocked full of activities. We would be here until noon if I went through all of them. So be sure and take your finger down the calendar and look at all of the activities that are going on at the library. The flyers are over on the flyer table, and they're listed on the calendar as well throughout the next couple of months. Lots of things that are happening at the library. Monday, there will be a special meeting that is for the poultry information regarding the Tyson project, and Trisha will be talking more about that, so you'll want to mark that on your calendar. The Cancer Support Group will be meeting next Tuesday, and so if you know someone or you yourself would benefit from that support group, please check out that information. Or if you're someone who would like to sponsor the refreshments for that, please let us know. We have just a few slots left, and if you're someone who has an organization or business that would like to sponsor that, let us know. It's just the refreshments for all those who attend that event on a monthly basis. One other thing I wanted to point out was it's Southeast Kansas Senior Safety and Wellness Coalition. They meet on a quarterly basis. They're going to be meeting in Coffeyville, and it's January the 10th. It's next week, and this particular one is all about scams. And there is an individual who's very educated representing the Better Business Bureau. She travels around the state, and she informs audiences and seniors all about those scams, how to avoid those, and how to be a savvy consumer. So if you or someone you know would benefit from that, be sure and go to that luncheon. It's totally free, and it is next week. Speaking of luncheons, it will not be a luncheon, it will be a dinner, but if you want off the hook for cooking, the Valley Victor Club for the 4-H will be doing a soup supper, and that is on January the 13th. So mark your calendar from 5 to 7 in the evening and go taste some, obviously it's going to be great soup cooked by all those 4-Hers, so it's a great fundraiser to support the 4-H as well. And also, you're going to hear a little shout out later on about the Martin Luther King celebration that we have coming up. Kathy Shepard is here to tell us about that. And lastly, we also have Eclectics Art Gallery, who is also very, very busy in our community, offering lots of fun experiences at the art gallery, not just to enjoy their art, but to learn how to do painting, learn how to do photography, learn how to do alcohol ink projects. They have all kinds, doing ceramics. They have all kinds of fun things that are happening there. And I say that because we're fortunate to have two amazing art galleries in Independence on top of our historical museum and art center. And the only way they're going to be able to stay open and sustain themselves, especially at Eclectics Art Gallery, because it's a lot of artists that are working together, is if we all go and participate in all the fun things that they have that they're offering our community. So get your girlfriends or your boyfriends together and head over to the Eclectics Art Gallery and participate in one of the activities that they have coming up. You'll see those on your calendar. So with that, I'm going to stop, and we'll do all the rest of the information as shout-outs at the end. And it is time to welcome our speakers. Our first speaker this morning will be kind of a duo, and we have from our city, because we're doing a city update this morning, we have both David Cowan and Fred Meier. So at this time, which one of you guys wants to go first? Okay, please welcome David Cowan.
Sean, can you come up here too? It's a great honor, Mayor, to what we do in emergency services is often it starts with a citizen seeing something happen and a citizen taking action. And Mayor, we're here today to honor a citizen with a life-saving award. We'd ask Sarah Pouncil to come up here, please. Sarah works at Down Home Restaurant, and my understanding is this is the third time, but Mayor, she performed the Heimlich maneuver on somebody that was choking, was totally blue, and probably was headed towards a very bad outcome. But her quick reaction and performing the Heimlich maneuver saved this gentleman's life. And by the time the ambulance arrived on scene, with just in a few minutes, he was breathing, talking, and well. And this is the third time. So I'll let you read the certificate, Mayor, and we'd like to congratulate her.
Well, this is a life-saving award that is presented to Sarah Pouncil for outstanding performance and heroic actions on the 8th day of December 2017 at the Down Home Restaurant in recognition of the selfless act of rendering life-saving aid to others in their time of need. It's my honor, and this is one of the really fun parts of being a city commissioner, is to reward citizens like this, because we've done this several times recently. Here. Well, in reflecting, boy, what a fast 4 years, 8 months this has been. When you sit back and think about it, my wife and I, my beautiful bride and I, were sitting around the other day and we were talking about, so what are you going to do now that you're done? And, that's a good question. And I'll tell you, I don't know. That's not a good answer. That's not a good response. But, here's what I know. I love this community, and when I was asked if I would consider running for the city commission, I said, no. It was pretty blunt, no. Because I just had retired, several things I thought I wanted to do. And then some people kept talking to me and asked me if I'd reconsider. I finally did, and sure enough, I was elected. So I appreciate the confidence that community shown in me over the last 4 years. I appreciate the honor of being able to serve as mayor. I appreciate working with my colleagues, Leonard and Gary and Daryl Unruh when I first got on. We all remember Daryl. And what I'm more convinced of than ever is that what a community we have. This is a top-notch, full-fledged, A+. Remember, I used to be in education. An A+ community. And I'm continually reminded of that, during my whole time on the commission. But as I sit back and think, look at what we've accomplished in the 4 years. And this is just a few. These are just some things that, actually, she wrote down. She started writing things down, and she kept asking me to add to it. Well, pretty soon, you got a pretty good list. But if you look back at what we've accomplished, the Logan family, of course, I can't do this by myself. I have to have help. community has to help us. You know, the Logan Fountain, Veterans Memorial, we got new roads, West Main, Downtown Tree Project, Wesley Park, recently the water plant upgrades, and I could go on and on and on. And when you think back and look at it, a lot of these things were challenges. Challenges become opportunities. There's going to be plenty of opportunities going forward for the new commission, and support them. Let them know your opinions. I appreciate the people that have called me, sometimes to vehemently disagree with me, but that have called me and expressed their opinions. I also appreciate the people that have called me and supported some of the things that I've stood for. So with that, you'd say, well, are you going to say sayonara, farewell? The answer to that question is no. I'll be around. I don't know what the opportunities in the future hold, but, I'm here. I love this community. And as I said, it was an opportunity to give back, and I look forward to continually to give back. I'm not sure how, where, what, or when we'll let those opportunities come, but when they come, I'll say yes, and we're going to move forward. And if you really think about some of the challenges that we faced, we took some real hits, losing the hospital, Amazon, AIW. Yet if you look at some of the sales tax receipts and all that stuff that go along with what affects city budgets, we've hung in there awful well. Not too many communities could survive losing 1,000 jobs and yet come out, and I wouldn't say on top, but positioning ourselves in a position to where we have opportunities other communities don't. So for that, I thank you. I thank you tremendously. And so with that, I'm going to say, see you later.
Thank you, Fred, and I know everyone appreciates all your service that you've given to the community over the last 4 years. And congratulations, Sarah. That was a great way to start First Friday, so thank you for your service as well. So now it's time to move on to our next speaker. Andy Taylor is representing the Lions Club, a very, very important organization that you may or may not know about, or you may think you know about and you just know a little bit about. So at this time, please welcome a Lion himself, Andy Taylor. Or Lion Andy.
That's right, Lion Andy. Lion, Lion Andy. We have several Lions Club members here in the very back row. I see some. Raise your hand if you're a Lions member. We have the Flishers and Chuck England. Good to have you part of our team with our Lions Club. Quick question, give me some feedback. When you think of the Lions Club, what do you think of instantly?
Kittyland.
Kittyland. What else? Eyeglasses. Thank you. The two things that we're known for in Independence, Kansas is Kittyland and eyeglasses. We're going to talk about some of those projects here. Real quick, our motto is very simple. We serve, and we adhere to that. We're not an organization that comes and has dinner meetings and we all sit around and burp and go home. We get out and want to do things. That's part of our instinctive drives, and we do lots of cool things. We're coming into 2018 after having two big milestones in 2017. One is that our chapter was formed 95 years ago, and the Lions Club International, the international organization, was formed 100 years ago. So now we're going into our 96th year locally and our 101st year as an international organization. There's a clipping up there from the reporter back when the club was first formed in 1922. At some other point, if you want me to speak about what 1922 was like in Independence, it's fascinating because the Lions Club was formed with the help of the Independence Chamber of Commerce, and the Chamber of Commerce at that very time was going through a complete transformation. They were known as the Independence Commercial Club, but they changed their name that year to broaden their membership to include people who just weren't rich old white men. And it was a fascinating chapter in Independence history. There was a lot of negativity and pessimism that was going on that particular year in Independence because of one organization that also formed called the Ku Klux Klan. And that organization was causing so much derisiveness and so much division that the Chamber and the Lions Club, the newly formed one, and the Rotary Club combined efforts to create a funeral, believe it or not, a funeral for negativity. At the Booth Hotel, they actually brought a fake coffin in and put it in the very front, and people put their pessimism and their negativity and their gossip and their scandal in this coffin in hopes they would bury it. That was, mark that down, Lisa, okay, for 28. And put my water bills in there, too. That's another thing we could put in. That was 1922. A lot of things have happened and since then. By the way, there were over 25 civic organizations in Independence in 1922. And I think now we're down to basically about 5, but we're still very healthy, 5 organizations or so. Lots of lodges, elks, owls, mooses, whatever else that were popular back then. Here's our founder, Melvin Jones, who gave this very quote that we adhere to. You can't get very far until you start doing something for somebody else. That's biblical. That's the reason we do it. You're not going to get far in life until you start thinking about other people and helping improve mankind. The reason I joined the Lions Club 2 years ago was part of a divine intervention. I attend First Baptist Church, and our pastor, David Henneke, gave a great sermon series about serving, doing things, getting off your duff, and going out and doing stuff to help other people. Now, he didn't say go join the Lions Club to achieve salvation. This is just one of the many things that you can do to help others. So I found my lot in life, in the Lions Club to help other people. Global platforms, we have 4 primary ones. We achieve a lot of great things locally, but internationally, we strive to educate others about juvenile issues, primarily juvenile diabetes, which is a growing scourge across the planet. We champion youth activities, educational activities, promote global peace, and the very bottom one, which is the one you're most familiar with, vision improvement, which has been our number one focus since 1917. Throughout Independence, you will find collection boxes for used eyewear. I would encourage you, to those of us who wear eyeglasses, you have 2 or 3 other pairs, I'm sure, that are outdated and ugly, sitting in your somewhere in your house. Please think about putting them in those collection boxes. They are all collected and sent to I don't even know where they're sent to, but they're sent to foreign nations because we have a law in the United States, and I think we can praise the optometrists of America for this. Recycled eyewear is prohibited in the United States. So they're all sent overseas, but they're all carefully screened to determine their power and magnification, and then given to people who simply can't afford eyewear elsewhere. Think about it. If you live in a foreign country, and I'm going to mention a specific case here in a second, and you do not have an optometrist or a Walmart that has an optometric office, your life is pretty much relegated to right here, about 4 inches from your eyes. You can't see. So imagine being a small child in an impoverished nation who cannot see the chalkboard or cannot see the roadway or cannot see anything. It's a terrible, terrible way to live. And the Lions across the world for 101 years now has been striving to make sure people can see. So please, again, give the eyewear to the collection boxes. I know we have a collection box at Egbert's. I believe there's one at Medicine Shop. Library has one, thank you. You'll see them throughout town. Local improvement of vision. That picture you see there is one of our own, a 3-year-old boy named Braxton who could not see very well. His parents were oblivious that he was having problems seeing, much more about 2 or 3 inches from his face. So he learned that the Lions Club has funds set aside locally to help children, low-income people to obtain an optometric exam, as well as funds set aside to purchase eyewear. So imagine what it's like when this young boy puts on these brand new glasses for the very first time in his reaction to seeing his world. It's a totally different view for the better. What a magnificent gift this kid has. His trajectory has totally changed his life. It's amazing. I was told a story recently, and I wish Dan Barwick was here to hear this story because it has to do with his college. But we have this great program called CP2 at ICC, which is the Community Partnership Program, where we put host families together with students. One of the host parents told me that he noticed his particular student, who comes from a foreign country, I cannot remember the name of it. It's one of the former Soviet republics that I can't pronounce, nor do I know where it's on the map. I think it was Uzbekistan. But he noticed the student, when he was coming over to his house for meals, was squinting a lot. And when he was trying to read, he was putting the book or the newspaper or whatever it was, the device, about this far from his face. And he asked him, "Do you have trouble seeing?" And he says, "I don't know. This is how I've lived my entire life." Because in Uzbekistan or Kazakhstan, wherever he was from, they don't have Walmarts readily available with optometrists. It's a rarity to go to a country like that that has medical care. So he discovered, just through that having that meal, that this student needed help. He notified us. We knew he was a poor college kid. We got the funds set up to have an exam at Walmart. And within a week, he had eyeglasses, which changed his entire life. Wow. To think. Yes, thank you. We take vision for granted, truly do. But if you're from a place that doesn't have access to that, it's truly a gift to have that. So we have those funds. If you know of somebody in Independence who is low income or has no insurance and has a need for optometric examination, let us know. Let us know, and we'll see what we can do to fulfill that. Starting this past year, the Lions Club has access to resources where we can provide free vision screenings to anybody. Now, we're not medical personnel by any means. In fact, we don't even touch the people who get these screenings. We have this, basically it's a highfalutin camera that takes a picture of a person's eyes. And there's a nice little computer inside it that can actually determine quickly and instantly the tracking of the eyeballs, whether they're going this way or that way, as well as other vision issues. So it detects immediately if there is a need for further examination, which we print a report out right there on the spot and give it to the person or the parent, and they can take that then to an optometrist to say, here's what we're noticing. This past year, for the first time, USD 446 allowed us to come in and do a screening of all of the incoming kindergarten students, some 90 some odd students. And of the 90 students that we screened, 20 or more needed optometric exams, which pretty much falls in line with about 25% of us need eyewear or more. But if you're a small child and you don't have a way of knowing that your vision's bad, you just have grown with that, you have no way until somebody can measure that and screen it for them. So it's been a wonderful experience. We don't do this just for kids, anybody. If you have an organization or an activity where lots of people are going to be there, let us know, and we can arrange to have that resource there so we can do a screening and print out the reports so that your people will then know whether they need further eyewear or some sort of optometric examination. It's a very cool resource. We're proud to have that. Okay, and it's chopped off in there in the bottom. Kittyland. This is why I'm in the Lions Club. That place has brought me so much joy since I was a kid. That picture was taken 50 years ago, 1968. Actually, our involvement in Kittyland and in Riverside Park goes back to the 1940s. In 1945, the Lions Club had this major project where they painted everything in the park and the zoo. They painted the lions, they painted the fences, the gates, the football goalposts, everything that had metal, they painted. And that was their first involvement and introduction into taking care of Riverside Park. Our duty today is to take care of the Kittyland area, which is the northwest part of the park. Excuse me. there are over 24 above-ground structures in Kittyland, believe it or not, that we maintain on a yearly basis. And we go out 3 or 4 times a year and grab the rakes and the hose and start cleaning up, because there's lots of leaves, lots of sticks, lots of debris out there that we help clean up and make it a safe place. It's a fantastic thing. There's one of the picnic shelters that we help fund, and it's in use all the time. Drive by the park on any Saturday or Sunday and look at Kittyland. Wow, it is probably the most used resource in Independence. Tom and Karen Hendricks, what true servants of Independence they are. Wow, I wish they were here. They won't tell me how long, but I know it's decades, plural, that they themselves have gone out every year and repainted all 24 structures or done repairs to them. There's a lot of it. And for the two of them to go out there on, I think it's Thursday, Friday, and Saturday mornings early when it's hot, and scrape paint and scrape concrete and scrape bird poop off the stuff, it takes a loyal person to do that. And we are proud to have Tom and Karen in our club to maintain those great structures. And I guarantee you, if you were to go in your photo albums at home, I would almost bet you have pictures of your kids or grandkids next to the big pumpkin or the hippopotamus or the shoe thing, the old lady in the shoe, or the other structures. I know I have pictures of me at age 2 sitting atop the 3 pigs, and it was still there. At Kittyland, we also operate the concession stand, the Lion's Den. That's our project throughout the year. We open up on the first day of the season in April, and we go all the way through the end of basically Neowalla weekend on Saturdays and Sundays. This particular picture was taken this year. There is a church in Miami, Oklahoma that comes up every year during the summer for part of their VBS. They come here to Independence because of the zoo and the park and the aquatic park. And they bring about 70 or 80 kids with them, and we help feed them something very simple, hot dog, chips, and a drink. But we can do this too for you. If you have an activity where you have lots of kids going to be there, a church activity, for example, let us know. Come to the park and zoo, we'll feed them for a very nominal fee. But this is one of the things that we do with the concession stand. All the money that we derive from those very cheap concessions, by the way, you can feed a family of 4 for less than $10 there. All that money goes right back to Kittyland to help buy the paint and buy the supplies to keep those structures maintained. It's a great thing. I helped with with the Lion's Den concession stand, got proficient with twirling cotton candy, which is a real art. Not everybody can twirl that just right. But it's a magnificent, magnificent thing. Other activities that we do, there's lots of things, and too numerous to mention, but Zulu Wings, one of the most popular, where we hand out candy, and I forget how many pounds of candy we handed out. It was something like 35,000 pounds of candy, I think, we gave away. No, it was a lot of stuff. We assist with the drive-through flu vaccine clinic every year by doing traffic control and collecting the non-perishable foods that are given to the Independence food basket as well. The other things that we do are, as I said, too numerous, but I'll highlight a few of them. We provide scholarships every year to IHS seniors. If there are IHS band members who are interested in going to State Lions Club band, we fund that project. If they go to the state band and want to go to the international band, then the state organization helps fund that as well. It's a magnificent event. In fact, we had our Christmas party in December, of course, and we had a little quartet of trombone and brass players playing. And in talking to them, we found out that 2 of the 4 were former Lions Club state band members via the Independence chapter. So that was a neat discovery as well. We do so many other things. We help with the summer theater program by helping fund that project. We have members who simply just donate their time and their resources monthly with the Helping Hands meal program. Many other things. We serve, we do things, we act, we love our town. One quick plug real quick, we have our bean feed coming up. It's the first Saturday in March at the Wesley Chapel at the Methodist Church. It's our only fundraiser we do besides the concession stand. So we'll give you some more information about that. Come out and get a big old dish of ham and beans and cornbread and enjoy the time. Our meetings, we meet twice a month, the first and third Tuesdays at Egbert's at 6 o'clock. If you're interested, we would love to have you. Here's some examples of some of our most recent meetings. Chris Mitchell there on the left getting his lapel pin. And, of course, Donnie Fuqua, one of our guest speakers today. He was there a few weeks ago to talk about his activity. So, to sum up one big thing, this is the come to Jesus moment. We need people. We desperately need people to be a Lions Club. If you look at our membership rolls, they are what they are. They're primarily older. I am the youngest member in Lions Club. I won't give you my age, even though it's pretty, I'm in the 40s or something like that. We need you. And if you're interested in being a part of this great organization, please let me know. We have membership forms over here on the table, and let me know what we can do to help you get involved in this activity. It's a fantastic opportunity to serve your town. The thing that makes Independence so special are people that get involved. And it's clubs like the Lions Club that help the things like Kittyland, that help small kids be able to see better, that makes it all come together. It's a fantastic opportunity to serve your communities. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Good job. And I know that you're going to get lots of takers on membership. So be sure and fill out those application forms. And like he said, the information's over on the table. And I know I speak on behalf, Andy, of and all you Lions that are in the room. We greatly appreciate all that you do for our community. He was right. The Kittyland, as well as the entire park and zoo, is a definite community jewel, and it wouldn't be there if it weren't for people like all of the members of the Lions Club and others who contribute their time. So we've said this before. You can't just take from this community. It's an amazing place to live, but we all have to give. So if you have it in your heart to support the park, and in particular Kittyland, and help with their other projects, be sure and join the Lions Club. So we'll get a full report on how many members you recruited this morning, Andy, after today. So anyway, okay, we're going to move along. She's been coming on a regular basis to keep us all up to date on the County Tyson project. So would you please welcome back to the podium the Director of the Montgomery County Action Council, Trisha Purdon.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for having me again. I think this is third or fourth, in a row. So you all might be getting tired of hearing from me, but hopefully not. This has been a great month because it's been an interesting process, and I think that's the first thing I want to address with you. There's been a lot of information out there that's extremely confusing on this project, and what's really it's interesting is that you are all seeing what I usually deal with on a regular basis in economic development, which is you work with a business and then they give you confusing information, and then you work with the state and then they give you a little bit of confusing information. But yet you're still talking to them this whole time, and usually it takes a year, 2 years. Standard Motor Products took 5 years. So some of these projects take a very, very long time, and you're getting to see it from literally day one of when we find out we're a finalist to the process where we're still trying to recruit them, to convince them that this is a good site, to the point where we'll finally give them our final presentation, or it might be our first presentation depending on how their timeline goes. But we have been invited by Tyson. I spoke with them this week to come and give them our site presentation and our proposal. We'll be doing that this month. And, I'm very excited. We've been working hard. We gave our first draft to my executive board last night, and they set me to work to do some more edits and give them more information. But we really couldn't put that together until we had all of our research at least partially completed. This project takes a lot of resources, natural, human, land, utilities, and we have to make sure that we're covering all of our bases. And normally you have, a few months to do that, 6, 8, 9 sometimes months to really work with that company collaboratively. But this time, since it's very public, we're having to do that a little bit of a warp speed. So we're excited to present to them this month, and I think that what we've put together is a strong proposal. We have worked with entities from KDHE, Kansas Department of Transportation, our local transportation organizations, and one of the things I really want to speak to today is an organization we've been working with on a pretty regular basis, and that's Kansas State University. We've been working with Representative Doug Blex and Herschel George. Herschel George is with K-State, and Representative Doug Blex has been working on the Kansas Watershed Protection strategy, and they call that the RAPS program. And we currently have that program in place in the state of Kansas, and it's actively being implemented in southeast Kansas, mostly in the Cherokee County area. And so we've been working with them to look at watershed protection, because that's been one of our biggest questions is, how do we protect our water supply? How do we protect our watershed? Making sure that if you get 400 barns that are raising chickens in, a 30 to 60 mile range, that the litter that's generated, once that they clean out once a year with, is generated and spread appropriately, safely, making sure that there's no runoff issues, no contamination problems. And so we are already starting to work with that RAPS committee to see about how we can implement that program right now before we ever even get those barns in place, to make sure that we have best management practices already in place. Our producers are fully trained in programs like this to protect our watersheds and protect our water supplies. And so we've been working on that this past month, and we've made a lot of progress. The holiday times, either we go at Mach 5 because it seems like every company is suddenly sending us requests for proposals, or it slows down. And luckily, this was a month where everything slowed down. So we got to do a lot of research, and watershed protection was our number one priority to get research done on. So we've been working with them to really make sure that we are not only matching the best management practices for watershed, but then we're also working with Tyson directly for their best management practices. And in the last few years, they've really implemented some pretty strict guidelines if you're going to produce for Tyson on how they protect the watersheds that they go into. There's been issues in the past, and every business has their growing pains. But over the past few years, they've really implemented some innovative things that they can do to make sure that wherever they go, that they protect the environment, natural resources that they depend on to keep moving forward and to supply chicken to the world. So we're working with both Tyson and our local RAPs to research more of that. KDHE has been actively working on this as well. So we've been working with KDHE to study the production end of this, and they've been actively researching and studying ways that we can ensure that when the production facility goes into place and they're processing this 1 million birds per week, that everything is done in a very regular way. And one little tidbit I found out, and I don't know if I've told you this before, but we have found out that this industry is more regulated than someone like CVR. There's more regulations that they have to hold up to when it comes to water discharge, sanitation, worker safety than some of our biggest refinery type businesses that we all think of is heavily regulated. So it's very interesting. And KDHE has been actively working on that to make sure that when this plant is built, they meet all those specifications. Water supply is also the issue I kind of talked about last time, and we had some great meetings this past month to learn more about our water supply. In our last poultry production or growers meeting that we had on December 14th, one of the big questions that came up is, do we have enough water not only for the production facility, because they need 2 million gallons a day, but do we have enough water to supply water for the chickens as they're being raised in the 49 days that they exist on this earth? We do. We've had numerous studies that's been done, and we've accumulated studies that have started that were done, some in 1965 on groundwater aquifers, and that have been progressively added to and expanded upon. And we have groundwater wells, and I mean, if you talk to anyone who maybe currently has a farm, I bet they have a water well already. We have water wells that can go from, very slow flow rates, 1 gallon a minute or something like that, to a few that can generate 25, 50, and there's even one that can generate 150 gallons a minute of water from our groundwater aquifer. And apparently we do have an aquifer. It's below the bedrock, and I think it's about 200, 300 feet deep. But several of these farmers are already tapping into that aquifer, and it's replenished through surface water. Apparently we have very soluble soil that water from our Verdigris River basin can absorb through that soil and replenish our groundwater a little bit easier, actually, than the aquifers you see in western Kansas, my hometown region. We were on the Ogallala Aquifer, and there's studies out there all over the place that say that takes 500 years to completely regenerate. So we have a very different soil type here than they do here. So we have an aquifer that can regenerate. Obviously, we have surface water. I mean, I don't know how far you have to drive before you see a farm pond in Montgomery County or even in this region. So we've been talking with them about, can we use surface water to supply the water for these chickens in these barns? And the answer is yes. We found that there is technology available that has gotten significantly more cost effective for our farmers. They can do UV treatment, they can do gas chlorination to treat the water on site so that they don't have to have massive utility costs to buy water from our rural water districts. There's also rural water districts that have opportunities to expand and grow, and we've talked with them as well. And so some of these farmers might be able to pull from the rural water districts and buy at a bulk rate to reduce their costs. So we've looked at all three of those categories. We've looked at flowing topography, and each of these options is going to be dependent on which site a farmer might choose to have these barns. So if you are in a rolling topography, you can put in some dams and do some build some ponds that will allow you to have surface water. If you are a very flat topography, maybe the groundwater wells or rural water districts works better for you. So we've done a lot of research, and I can tell you I am becoming a geologist in this whole thing as well as economic development. The last piece I really wanted to hit on is our second growers meeting. And the reason why, and I think people were confused why we were even having this meeting, because everyone thought that this project was dead, and it's definitely not dead. Trust me, it's not dead. My family will attain to that. But we have Professor Scott Meier, coming down to Independence on January 9th, and he's going to come and talk to us about raising animals, raising chickens, but he specifically is the chicken expert for the state of Kansas. And his actual title is Associate Professor of Animal Sciences and Industry at K-State University. And so he's going to tell us a little bit about the academic side of what it's actually going to take and the process of hatching all the way to raising the chickens, the breeder chickens, the pullet chickens, that whole process and the academic level of what it's going to take to raise these chickens. They're also working with the engineering groups at K-State, and we're probably going to have a few of them come down as well to really talk about, the water supply, exactly the flow rates, the water treatment system, UV treatments, avian bird flu, all the things that go along with considerations of where and how you might raise chickens. So that meeting will be very informative for your producers that are very interested in growing. And I'd say it's been pretty overwhelming, the number of producers that have contacted me. We've got over 30, 35 producers already that said, yeah, I'm very interested in this, sign me up so that maybe I can get in the door first. Because it's been pretty clear since we're in virgin territory that if Tyson chooses our site, those producers that are that first round that raise chickens for Tyson first, they're going to be setting the bar, and so their profits are going to probably be significantly higher than those that maybe wait 5-6 years to get in on this. So I would say that one of the interesting pieces, and I think I'll plug why I think we are a better site than Cloud County in the state of Kansas, if they're considering Kansas, is the fact, one, we are close to Springdale, Arkansas. We're already close to their existing grower networks. So we want as many farmers in this region to raise chickens as much as possible. But it's great to have experts so close that we can have some of those farmers also come up and train our farmers and help them implement these best practices, help them implement litter storage solutions that work and have been proven to work and are cost effective for our farmers. So I think it's like a 7-hour drive to Concordia for those in Springdale. So it's 2 hours and 45 minutes. I charted it out here. So, and if Tyson's willing to fly their charter jet, it's 28 minutes. I hope I get a flight on that one. But thank you all very much for having me, and keep following our Facebook page. If you are interested in coming to our meeting on the 9th, it's here at Memorial Hall at 9 o'clock, and we'll have some great information for everyone on what it's going to be like to raise poultry in Montgomery County and our whole region. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Lots of good information this morning. Okay, so wrapping it up, next we have our final speaker, and he is representing the Community Leadership and Development Council for Kansas Children's Service League, in particular, healthy communities. And so at this time, would you please welcome Donnie Fuqua.
Good morning. I want to thank you all for having me here. I'm a little unprepared for this. Somebody else was supposed to come and talk to you guys. My name is Donnie Fuqua. I am a human resource manager for Walmart. I've been with Walmart for almost 19 years now. Worked in over 40 different stores, but Independence is kind of my home. And on a little side note, this morning, in listening to all the other speakers, and Dave and Fred and Andy, I kind of want to emphasize just the sense of community. Everybody here has mentioned community this morning. I'm coming as an outsider to Independence. I didn't move here till I was 19 years old in college, going to ICC, but instantly was welcomed by the community, and I was kind of astounded by that. And Andy mentioned that. And Fred did as well. But anyway, just on a side note, thank you for that. And it's been a pleasure living here, and I'm proud to now call Independence my home. So, Kansas Children's Service League. By a show of hands, who has not heard of the Kansas Children's Service League? There's got to be some. Yes, several. Okay. I hadn't either. In working for Walmart for going on 19 years, I have always tried to be involved in the communities where I worked. In the previous store that I was in, I worked with the Boys and Girls Club. So when I transferred back to Independence about 5 years ago, I was kind of seeking an organization or some local group that I could get involved in where we could feel like we're making a difference, especially in the lives of children. I was approached by Erin Bunn, who is the local program director for Kansas Children's Service League here in Montgomery County. And she actually was meant to be here with you guys today. She is actually in training in Wichita, so she's sorry that she couldn't make it, so here I am. But anyway, Erin approached me and she says, Kansas Children's Service League is opening an office here in Independence to try to help the community and surrounding communities. And we would like to put together a community leadership and development council of volunteers from the community that can help us identify needs and sponsorship opportunities and fundraising and awareness of the overall program. So Kansas Children's Service League, the program that we have here in Montgomery County, Kansas, is called the Building Healthy Families. And what we do is we work with families who are at a high risk for child abuse and neglect. We work with the families from basically from conception through 5 years old. They get home visits. We have a team of home visitors. We have actually multiple that are bilingual who are helping these families out. My eyes were opened pretty wide the first time that I attended an event for Kansas Children's Service League here in town to actually see the families that are benefiting from our program. Just things that you and I would normally take for granted, and to be able to see, for example, we do every other month we have a family time for the families that are all involved in the program, where a dinner is provided, activities are provided for the kids, and volunteers come and help watch the children, prepare the food, serve the food. And it's really amazing that something that, you and I go out to eat or have somebody watch the kids, and this is something that these folks don't have an opportunity to go out and do. And just to see a father come up and say, I've never had anybody serve me food before. I've never had to not worry about my child for 30 minutes while I sit down and eat. It's just amazing. And there's so many other bigger needs than that. But I'm here to talk to you today about an event that we're doing as a fundraiser called Cherish Our Children. We did our first one last year. We correlate that with the opening day at the park. Did any of you guys get to see the chairs that were done last year? Okay. So beautiful. I mean, our local artists really blew our expectations out of the water to take a 18-inch tall wooden chair, just a basic wooden chair, and to turn it into, I think Mandy has some pictures from our chairs from last year. Sorry, I'm throwing you off, aren't I? I got a little out of order. So all of these were done by local artists of all different ages. The chairs were donated to us, and then we gave them some time, gave the artists some time to work on them. So what we did was we wanted to do an auction. And last year we actually themed the chairs based off of different attractions at Riverside Park. So our goal last year was to raise $2,000 for our local program, and all that money goes right back into the local community. We actually almost doubled our expectations for that fundraising last year. We had a breakfast. That's my personal favorite, the train. But we had a breakfast last year. We had Chris Cakes come in from Wichita, and we wanted to have a very inexpensive breakfast where families from the community could come and have a very inexpensive meal, have some fun, get to see these chairs right before they go enjoy their day at the park with their families. And due to some very generous donations, and I especially want to thank West Star Energy, really stepped up, and they said that we'd like to make this event free for anybody that wants to attend, and there were some contributions from other local businesses and stuff like that. So I do have a little bit of a video here. There's about a 3-minute video that was going to kind of show, highlight what the Building Healthy Families program does. So Mandy, if you could start that, please.
I do remember my mom. She definitely always comes in my mind when I was little. When I turned 5, she did get into a car accident. And that's when my life changed. Completely.
Yesenia was so young. She has really good memories of her mother, a child's memory.
I wish I should have waited, but I don't regret her. It's been a lot of stress.
Yesenia works a part-time job to support herself and her daughter because she's 18 years old, and her father and her stepmother thinks that she needs to support her own daughter at this point.
I don't really see support from my dad, so it's hard. They really don't say much. They're not the supportive family that I want. They don't even ask me how school went, how my grades are, anything. They're just worried about themselves. Judy will be, I like to say, straight up with me. She came to me with lots of help, lots of advice, and I could always tell her anything. I had more confidence with her than telling my own parents anything, problems, anything.
With Healthy Families, we are there to prevent any possibilities of child abuse in that child's life. If we didn't have the funding to do this program, it would be really devastating for a lot of our young moms. We're there every week to help them through different issues that come up in their life. We are not just focused on the child and the child's development. We're focused on their family and what we can do to help them succeed. I've seen so many successes with our program and so many lives changed. I see the future for both Yesenia and Jacqueline successful. I know that Yesenia wants to have a good education so that she can provide that.
Well, my sister and my brother, they didn't graduate. They dropped out, so it's something I'm proud of. I want to continue going to school, get a degree, just make her proud. Jacqueline is my wonderful world. Say thank you. Thank you.
What a wonderful world. Oh, yeah.
So that video was a family based out in western Kansas that Kansas Children's Service League has helped. But that very same program is what we have going on in Montgomery County. So our fundraiser this year, we're going to try to do this Cherish Our Children event again. We've already given out chairs to our local artists. We picked a little bit of different theme this year. The artists have selected different holidays. Our theme was the holidays through the eyes of a child. So different holidays throughout the year. So each chair will be based on a different holiday. So I'm here to ask you to consider sponsoring this event. Just as we did last year, we'd like to make this as low cost as possible for all the families and anybody that would like to come to the event. So we will be having a luncheon next Thursday at the library on the 3rd floor in the community room. So if you are interested or would like to know more about our program or the Kansas Children's Service League, I would invite you to that luncheon. There are some information papers on the table over here. We also have some sponsorships packages. So we're asking for anywhere from a $50 sponsorship to a $250 sponsorship. And there's one of these forms over there on the table as well, which shows the different packages and tells you what your organization will receive as for your donation. Again, in closing, I just want to thank you in advance for your help and for your awareness, and again for the sense of community. And thank you, Lisa, for having me.
You do a great job in leading that organization. I serve on that council as well, and it's amazing. It truly is. And it's one more reason why Independence is a great place, and it's a county-wide effort and beyond Montgomery County. But they are doing great things in our community to help families who are at high risk. And I think Carrie West from West Star is here, actually. Where's Carrie? So over there in the corner, thank you for your support of Kansas Children's Service League. And Jim Hayward, where are you? Yes? You are the creator of Donnie's favorite chair, the locomotive, so thank you for contributing. And you too will be painting again this year, right? So what's your holiday? Thanksgiving, okay. All of the artists, there are 11 artists who drew for their particular holiday, so those will be fun. And check that out again on park opening, and the information that he mentioned is over on the table. So it is time to wrap everything up, but do not leave, because those who want to give a little shout out, and there are lots of you, please come on up. What we're going to do is form 2 different lines right here, and I'll hand you the cordless mic. You'll stand right in front of me and give your little 30-second, 1-minute shout out. And while they're coming, please remember to fill out those comment cards. And please remember, if you have something that you want to add to the calendar, to please call the chamber office at 331-1890 and let Mandy know. We'll get that on the calendar. Here we go. Nancy from the library, you want to go first?
Thank you. I'd just like to extend an invitation to everyone to a new series of programs at the library called Local Tastes of Independence. One of the things we do at the library is to inform, and this series of programs is to inform, promote, and enjoy all things local. So it's to the benefit of local businesses, organizations, and the public.
Thank you very much.
I'm sorry. The first program is next Sunday, the 14th at 2 o'clock at the library, and we'll have a new program every month, same time, same day of the month.
I'm Lacey Bohr with Southeast Kansas Works. We are going to be hosting our annual statewide job fair in conjunction with the Department of Commerce. That's going to be March the 8th from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. They've chosen for Chanute for our local area, so that will be in Chanute. So any employers that are looking to hire, we are expecting a really great turnout. In conjunction with the statewide job fair, we are also hosting a young adult summit. So that will be for youth all across our area, ages 16 to 24. I've got a flyer here. We're looking for some sponsorship opportunities. Also looking for businesses to throw in 100 just giveaway items. So pens, cups, those kinds of things. If you're interested, I'm going to put some flyers over on the table, or you can call our office and ask for myself or Melissa Johnson. So thank you.
Tabitha with Independence Main Street, and we're working on our save the dates, but I just wanted to get that date out for you. March 3rd is going to be our annual fundraiser. It is Main Street's only fundraiser, and we have another great theme for you, Peace, Love, and Main Street. So dig out those 70s clothes and come out that night for a great time. We also, if you are a great baker, we need donations for our dessert dash. So get a hold of myself or Julie Volker and donate your dessert for the dessert dash that night. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Kathy Shepard, and I want to let you know about our Independence's Martin Luther King celebration. It will be held on January 14th at Independence High School in the Performing Arts Center. We kick that off, and you guys are helping with that today with the food fight, which is a competition between the community and the schools to see who can collect the most food. And then that is given to the food basket here in Independence. The winner of the food fight gets a plaque, and that's a traveling plaque from year to year to see who wins. And then we also have a community choir that is organizing just for Martin Luther King Day. They will be practicing on the 6th and the 13th, just prior to Martin Luther King Day, and they will practice at 2 o'clock at Crystal Brook Church. And so if you're interested in singing, then please come out and join that. The celebration on Sunday, the 14th, will start off at 2 o'clock with a soup lunch, and then at 3 o'clock is when the actual program will start. So please come out and help us celebrate MLK 50 Forward.
Thank you. Quickly, I forgot to introduce one of my employees who snuck in the back, Jim Kelly, our Executive Vice President. So I did not want to leave today without recognizing that Jim is here. The other thing is, you notice we do have a lot of food at our table that we brought to donate today, but we are kicking off our employee food drive to restock the food bank. So if you want a place to put that food, bring it on down. We're going to let you throw your name in the hat, and we're going to draw for some Main Street gift certificates. And then we're also going to donate the food to the food basket. So help us restock.
Brent Littleton, Dairy Queen. I just wanted to bring everybody up to date. We're moving forward, folks. Make no mistake about it. A few I's to dot and T's to cross still, but I want to thank Community National Bank. They're behind us and supporting this effort. They do have a great SBA department that is Johnny on the spot when it comes to getting business handled. So I want to thank them for, it's been one of the easiest banking experiences of my life. Not that I've had a tremendous amount of them, but this has been a good one for what it is. Another thing, we're going to plan on construction possibly early February. If everything keeps going like it is, hope to be open early April. And in March, I'm going to begin a hiring campaign and need about 50 employees to start with. So anybody knows some kids or some people that want to learn some great work ethic, I'm going to instill it in them personally, or they won't be with me. And but we're going to be looking for some good help in March. So just want to throw that out there. and appreciate everybody's support, their love for Dairy Queen, and sorry y'all got to put up with me, but anyway, turn it over to Ned here.
Morning. This coming Monday night, January the 8th, at the Independence Public Library, the library is hosting a program on robotics. And the library is a busy place, folks. And we're glad that they pounced on this. I took this idea to the library staff, and they greeted it with enthusiasm. This is one of the programs that we get through the Bureau of Lectures that you see at the schools. I'm not sure what all they have included, but they'll bring some little robots, some that walk, some that fly. And it'll be great for your kids. So if you have any children, grandchildren, neighbors, bring them along Monday night at 5:30 at the public library. This is a partnership between the library, the Friends of the Library, and the Independence Science and Technology Center, and also through the Science Center, which is funded partially by the Community Chest. This is the kind of thing that we use our Community Chest Fund. So plug for all those folks that have been giving to the Community Chest. We appreciate that. So Monday night.
Thank you, Ned. Good morning. Happy New Year, everybody. Dennis Pinkerton, Labette Health. Brent, by the way, yes, I've been staying after him. I'm having Dairy Queen withdrawals. So, yes, personally, I'm on a campaign. I've been staying after him, and we're really happy and excited about that. Hey, I just wanted to take a brief moment, you guys. With me today, I have two of our practitioners. Labette Health we now offer cardiology services here in Independence at the Labette Health Independence Clinic out here. Andrea Dryden is our nurse practitioner, and Becca Shaper is our RN. They bring a wealth of experience to stand up, you guys. Stand up. We're happy to have them on board, you guys, and this is one of the steps in the process. We're excited about having them. They have a wealth of experience when it comes to cardiology, and they both are certified in all service lines of cardiology, too. So you don't need a referral to go in. You can call a clinic out here, 577-4310, and schedule an appointment. But can I give them a little sneak peek? Next month? Okay. You will hear from these ladies next month at First Friday. So anyway, you guys, thank you for your support, your continued support of Labette Health, and all that you guys do for us.
Thank you.
And if you look on my notes, I skipped over a bullet point. It's really important to me, and I wanted to do this, is to thank city staff. City staff provides a lot of services. They do a lot of things. They go above and beyond the call of duty. And when you thank everybody, you can't forget people. And I forgot them. And thank you, Julie, for helping me remember to remember. So I just want to say thanks to them and their efforts for the community as well. So thanks.
All right. Well, how was that for a kickoff to a great year? So thank you all for coming. You're 80 strong. We expect a big crowd. Next month, we want to thank Community National Bank and Trust again for being our business sponsor. And be sure, if you have some suggestions, put them on the cards. If you have corrections or additions to the calendar, let us know. If you want to sponsor anything at the Chamber, the cancer support groups, First Fridays, business after hours, be sure and let us know that as well. Have a great weekend. I think it's going to warm up just a little bit, and we will see you all again back here on February the 2nd. Have a great weekend.